first, let's check in with meteorologist Payton Domschke and the AccuWeather forecast. It was beautiful out there yesterday, but chilly out there this morning. Feels like fall.
It's so chilly, and I think it's perfect for the runners.
Yes,
I'm not
absolutely.
a runner myself, but I know you are, and you can.
Great weather for
Perfect.
them.
Yeah. Great for you if you're headed out. Maybe even spectating, you'll need the extra layers. And guess what? We've got the sunshine brightening the horizon right now as we officially have switched the clock. So that means for you an earlier sunrise at about 6:33 this morning. It is officially above the horizon, doing its thing, trying to warm us up. And our sunset today before 5 p.m. And we've entered some of those darkest days of the year, but I think the extended forecast is going to help out with that. We're down to about 42 for Philadelphia right now. In fact, that's the coolest start we've had since last Tuesday for the city. Outlying areas mainly in the 30s. In fact, sub-freezing in Tabernacle. We're at 28 degrees in Chalfont. It is very crisp. You'll need the extra layers as you head out because, again, I was telling you yesterday morning that this morning would be even cooler, and it's about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. If you're headed out for early morning church service, maybe it's brunch plans on this Sunday, maybe it's down to the link. We'll talk about the birds forecast coming up, but temperatures by about mid-morning only in the low 50s. This afternoon we make a run at only 59 degrees, so it will be cool overall today. And speaking of cool, we've got another very chilly start ahead of us come tomorrow, but records are in reach come Wednesday. It's hard to believe when you get these kinds of mornings that we could actually have record territory yet again in that extended forecast. And our dry streak is up to 36 days and counting. We'll chat about another pending front that could bring a sprinkle to the area coming up in just a few, Caroline.
All right, Peyton, thank you. Time now for another check of your forecast. Sky 6 is taking a live look at the Commodore Barry Bridge on this Sunday morning. Peyton, hard to believe the sun's already rising, but we got that extra hour of sleep last night with daylight saving time. So
are you feeling rested?
A little bit more. A tiny bit, an hour more.
An hour more is just what we needed. I think it's going to carry us through today swimmingly. And speaking of that roller coaster ride we went through last week, we're in for another one as we go through this week. In fact, we're warming it up yet again. Today's high temperature, 59 degrees. That's sunny and seasonable. But if you like the warmth and a taste of summer, well, Mother Nature's bringing that back. In fact, by Wednesday, we are forecasting record-tying warmth with a high at about 79 degrees. And the sunshine is going to be around 2, and it's not just for Philadelphia that we come close to record territory. I think Allentown as of right now just shy by a degree, but Reading, Trenton, Wilmington, and even the Poconos could tie if not break records as we approach the middle of the week, and that's all possible as we take on a large ridging pattern across the area. Warm front will eventually lift. We've got that brightening horizon as you just saw from the Commodore Barry Bridge shot. Now the Brandywine camera taking a look at the skyline here for Philadelphia. We're at 42 degrees. It's actually the coolest start since last Tuesday, but it's still about 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. We've got a northerly breeze at about 10 miles per hour, and the winds aren't crazy this morning. That's another reason those temperatures can really drop off, along with that bone dry air. Outlying areas from the city basically all in the 30s until you hit the actual coastline. The moderating factor there is the actual water temperature is still in the low 60s. We are sub-freezing, in fact, in the upper 20s for Chalfont, at 30 in Allentown, 30 matching that in Tabernacle, and 33 right now in Wilmington, Delaware. For the rest of today, we see a lot of sunshine, a few afternoon clouds, temperatures topping in the upper 50s today. But if you are out early this morning or even late tonight and come tomorrow morning, you'll need the extra layers because we've got mostly clear conditions yet again through the overnight. We're down to about 42 degrees for Philadelphia, so really similar to how we're waking up this morning come tomorrow. Outlying areas back in the 30s. That is a seasonably chilly start to the day tomorrow. And remember, the sunrise tomorrow, just like today, around 6:30. So those of you who have not reached for the sunglasses, you might need them because the sun glare has been awful recently. And tomorrow will be our 36th dry day across the area. In fact, that historic dry streak just continues. The call from AccuWeather for your Monday, 65 degrees. That is 5 degrees above average as this warm front then lifts through the Midwest. It eventually is headed in our direction, and that brings the extra warmth for the middle of the week. So we're feeling like September yet again for the day on Tuesday with a high in the mid 70s. That's not typical. We should be around 60 degrees. High pressure is parked just to the north and east. That gives us more of that southerly fetch, so that helps bring in the warmth. And again, with that warm front lifting, there's active weather through the central plains. It's just not in our neck of the woods yet. Your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast, perfect for the birds. Remember that sun sets before before 5 p.m. So you will need the sweatshirts as the game progresses. Temperatures continue to warm. It's nice and dry for voting on Tuesday. Record-tying warmth for Wednesday. A cold front does move through, but it looks to be moisture-starved like we did earlier this past week. And then we're back in the 60s for Friday and Saturday. And what we continue to lack, and I say it almost each and every single day, is rain in the extended forecast.
Yeah, which is a shame because it's really dry out there. We say this, I mean, you sound like a broken record at this point because we've been talking about it for so long.
Yeah.
And we're going through another roller coaster with warm temps this week.
Up, down, and it doesn't look to stop anytime soon.
Oh my goodness. All right, lots to keep up with then.
It is.
All right, we'll be right back. Morning Sky 6 is taking a live look of the Ben Franklin Bridge as the sun rises an hour earlier this morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Payton Domschke and the AccuWeather forecast. A chilly one out there to start the day.
It's chilly this morning. I think if you're headed out for a midday kind of tailgate, you'll need to bring the sweatshirt and keep it with you, especially for the drive home if you're headed to the link. Also, I will point out I did try to wear a green dress today. It just keys out in the chroma key. So we're working with blue this morning, folks. At least it matches the graphics here. For that midday tailgate, temperatures around the mid-50s. I think today we top around about 60 degrees either side, depending on your exact location. And for the drive home, temperatures will be back in the mid-50s as that game gets going. Kickoff is at 4:05. High pressures in control, so that limits the cloud cover, allows for extra cooling this morning. And that's why as you head out the door, it's about 5 to almost 15 degrees cooler. That bullseye zone being up in Allentown, almost 20 degrees cooler up to the northwest, the I-95 corridor. 42 for Philadelphia out the door, 35 in Exton, 33 in Wilmington, Delaware, and it's 42 right now in Ocean City, but we will continue to warm as that sunshine does put in work. We're just not going to climb that far today, thanks to high pressure not being too far off. We had that cold front move through the other day, and by Friday, if you remember, we were actually in the low 80s, and it's a 22-degree swing for today's high, put in the upper 50s. Average for this time of the year is about 61 degrees, and we are right where we should be today, and we weren't too far off yesterday. But here's the thing, as we start to surge when it comes to warmth again this week, I've got details on near record warmth and when we're then back in the 60s to follow. Those details coming up in just minutes, Caroline.
Such a rolling out to your AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Payton Domschke. They're going to have a great day out there, Payton, for all of those different events and competitions. It's awesome for the athletes to have
After all, it is called Fall Fest, so we might as well have some fall weather to go around. I'm guessing there are probably some people setting up this morning. I hope they're bundled up because it is downright chilly. We're at 42 degrees for Philadelphia. That's the coolest start to a day we've had since last Tuesday, thanks to that big warm up we saw at the end of the week. We've cooled it down for the weekend, but temperatures in the outlying areas back in the 30s. Some locations at freezing or below, including Allentown, the Poconos. We're at 29 degrees right now in Tabernacle. That's the coolest location through the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. But here's the thing. We continue to see another warm up this week back in the forecast. So even our morning low temperatures and how we start the day is going to be adjusted as well. It was frosty when I got out to my car this morning, and I'm anticipating it to be just that come tomorrow morning. But by Tuesday morning, we're about 10 degrees above average from the start. And by Wednesday morning, we'll start the day in the low 60s for many. I think some of the outlying areas perhaps in the mid to upper 50s, but we shouldn't be there when it comes to a morning low. 62 degrees is 20 degrees above. That means we've got a high launching pad. And it's all thanks to the big upper level setup that we're going to have going on. So we're taking a look at the jet stream together. Its actual position will waver, and we set up this huge ridging pattern, which allows warmth to really spill in to the eastern half of the country. And we function starting Tuesday and going through the middle of the week about 15 to 20 degrees above average. And that's why Wednesday high temperatures are in the upper 70s. I think some of you could hit 80 degrees, and that's record tying warmth for Philadelphia at 79 degrees. It is going to be mighty warm yet again, and we will have some cloud cover around as there will be a system trying to make its way farther to the east. But as for now, we've got nothing in sight. You have to go all the way back to the Chicagoland area. Perhaps my folks waking up to a few showers this morning. That stretches all the way through the Central Plain states, and we've got high pressure in control. So it really puts the brakes on anything advancing from the west. And as that starts to kind of pivot to the east, we'll have a warm front lift, and that's where we really start to spell out the next couple of days in a mild fashion. Today, though, seasonable. By about 11 a.m., about 52 degrees. We've got a lot of sunshine, too. Remember, the sun does set before 5 p.m. Temperatures come falling again back into the 50s through the overnight, and then we'll be back in the 30s and 40s come early tomorrow morning. The call from AccuWeather for your Monday, about 65 degrees. That's still about 5 degrees above average, and an early outlook for Election Day. Unseasonably warm with highs back in the 70s, partly sunny skies. No reason to not get out and vote when it comes to a weather forecast kind of angle for you. The highs for the next several days will top around 80 degrees through your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast for you. And we will also see temperatures start to pivot as we go through time too. Here's the thing, temperatures do rise back to about 80 degrees by the middle of the week. That's record-tying warmth. And Thursday, we're still in the 70s here too. And by the next weekend, temperatures are in the 60s, even a little warmer than what we have experienced this weekend. Nonetheless, we're lacking wet weather through the entire extended forecast, Caroline.
I just can't believe we're going up again close to 80.
I can't
in
either.
November.
It's November.
Yeah. In October, okay, acceptable. November, I mean, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving.
October
and
seems appropriate for a swing. November, I'm like, can we just chill out? Literally?
I guess not. All right, Peyton, thank you. We'll be right back.